What's up, guys? Will's Comics back in another video. I'm showing y'all kind of like the before of this project that I had. Didn't take very long, but like the project itself. But this was an experiment that I've tried before, or at least kind of did before, but I tried it again. So a while ago, a few months ago, I think I talked about how I traded Pokemon cards, and I got some really great comic books for the Pokemon cards because they didn't want the comic books, they didn't know anything about them, and I got some awesome books like a Captain America 100 for some Pokemon cards that weren't worth that. I mean, they had some value, but not what that was. At least not as easy to sell. But so I found a bunch of Nintendo stuff at a garage sale, and my thought process was to buy the collection and then use it as trade value for some comic books. Got a bunch of messages. A lot of people just wanted to buy it straight up, but I said, look, I'm trying to get comic books. If I can't find any, I'll reach out to you. But I found a few comic book guys. One guy wanted to sell me, or it was his dad's stuff, but his dad didn't want to sell it. Another guy said he had like 600 comic books and he'd take pictures, never got back to me. But another guy, he said he had an ASM 252 and some X-Men between 130 and 150. So that sounded promising. So I kind of kept messaging him, a couple times, and he's like, no, I'm not avoiding you, I just gotta go to my storage unit and get it. So he got it finally, pulled it all out, and it looks very promising. There is a Thor 337 in there, first beta rate bill, newsstand, looks great. A lot of issues like 130, 131, 134, 137, like a lot of 130 to 150 X-Men issues. I don't think there's a 141, at least not that I see. There might be. He said there's an ASM 252 in there. There was 2 Marvel Team Up 141s. They looked great. A Savage Sword of Conan #1. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into every single book, but it looks promising. I think there's over $1,000 worth of comic book, like value-wise, and it's not a huge collection, so that's good. But this stuff, I pretty much have nothing into at this point. My buddy took a system and a few games, and he's going to give me what I paid for the whole collection. So it ended up working out really well for me because I have nothing into this at this point. So this is pretty much just get comic book stuff. Like, I'm just gonna trade for comic books. That's kind of what all this is. But basically the collection was a lot of NES, Super Nintendo, and N64 stuff, and then some Sega Genesis. A lot of N64 games with the manuals, which is good because it adds a lot of value. All these NES games have their manuals for the most part, which again adds value. Controllers and whatnot. This is stuff that I'm just trying to make room right now, so I threw that in there. I don't really want it anymore. Controllers, systems. There's 2 Sega Genesises. There's one right here, but there's another one in this bag. Games, and then these are some of the better games. I didn't look up every single game, but I looked up a few that looked promising. These look decent. I mean, these are worth like $40 or more, I think. I don't know, maybe that one is, but because of their manuals, like this has its manual, the manuals add a lot of value. Like some of these manuals are worth like $20 or more. So there's over 50 games. If you say without the manuals, I would say they're worth $10 a piece, but with the manuals, being there, I would say they're worth at least on average $15 a piece at least. So with that, if there's over 50, that's $750 worth of value, maybe more. Then you got the consoles themselves. I think there's over $1,000 worth of value. I don't know if he wants everything because he said Mario stuff. So if he just wants Mario stuff, I'd be willing to trade him the Mario stuff and then pay him for the comic books, if it's obviously a good enough deal to where I can resell them. But it looks promising. I'm hoping for a straight up trade, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all what the idea was before I went and did it tomorrow. Meeting him at 11 o'clock in the morning, which is 10 hours from now. So I'm excited. Hopefully it works out, because this sounds like some really, really good books that look to be in really good grade. So stay tuned. There will be a part 2 in the same video. So see you in a minute. What's up, guys? Willie's Comics back with another video. This is the second part of from what you just saw. It was a success. I traded all that video game stuff for some comic books. I'll get into the specifics as I go, but I got some really good stuff I'm very excited about. I would say about 200 comics, a lot of keys, a lot of nothing too, like, no grails, but there's close almost. But we'll just run through them. Some of these are some of the minor keys, some like 10 to 20 to 30, a lot of books maybe. But I got The Thing #1, a newsstand, not a huge book, but it's #1. Some 10 centers, these are from the 50s and I guess early 60s maybe, but Marines in Battle #17, it's a 10 center. We gotta show that off. Combat Kelly #29. Combat Kelly #25. Our Fighting Forces #32. And I think that's all the 10 centers that I had. But some cool stuff. This is what I mean when I was close to, I saw this book and I was asking him if he had it, but I think he knew what he had for the most part. He knew the comic books for the, like, generally pretty decently well. Not everything, I think, but Giant Size X-Men #2. He did not have #1, unfortunately. This one's beat, but still, #2. 2 copies of Contest of Champions. Not a huge book, but a decent one. Alpha Flight #1. That's a good book. This one's in high grade, really good shape. Micronauts, 2 issues of #1. One's kind of beat up, the other one's pretty good. So there we go. Amazing Spider-Man 220, first Moon Knight in the title. I think the first time they meet as well. Newsstand. Looks to be in pretty high grade too. ROM Space Knight #1. It's a good, decent little book. Amazing Spider-Man 201, the Punisher and Spider-Man. I don't know if that's like just because it's an iconic cover or what. First Captain Universe #8, Micronauts. Newsstand. 123, this is a funny key, but yeah, minor key. 2 copies of Web of Spider-Man #1. Both newsstands, both are in really good shape. Marvel and DC present Uncanny X-Men and New Teen Titans. It's a cool little book right there. And then I got a Silver Age X-Men #41, first appearance of a certain character, but also I think the continuation of the origin of Cyclops. So pretty cool book there. Another Silver Age X-Men #45. Marvel Age 29, I think it's just because of the cover. And then Captain Marvel 32. Guy was really cool. I got more books, but really cool. It went really well. Unfortunately, a couple of the systems, the 2 Sega Genesises, one didn't work, and then the other one, it worked, but the screen was a little messed up. You had to look at it from a certain angle in order to, for the color to be there. And then I did sell one of the N64s to my buddy. So basically, we did a trade, which I had nothing into it at that point, but I did a trade and I gave him $100 because I do think the comic book value exceeded the video game value a little bit. He thought it was more than what it was, so he wanted $300 on top of what it was, but I was not going to do that. So I told him I could do $100 on top of the trade. And he said that was cool. He does have more comic books. I think maybe twice what he brought, maybe a little. I don't think it's not a lot more, but I told him I'd be interested in buying them. And he did pull. I don't know if he pulled some books. I know he pulled one. He pulled a 252, which we'll get into that. But obviously, I was skeptical that the Giant Size X-Men 1 was in there, and that he pulled it. I was skeptical that there was an ASM 194 in there, but I didn't see it. Secret Wars 8, he had 7 and 9, but no 8. And some of the issues surrounding that too, he had like 4, 5, 6, 7, no 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm like, I don't know if he pulled it or not. But we'll get into it. X-Men 132. Decent key there. These are some of the more mid-tier keys. Marvel Team Up #3, the 3rd appearance of Morbius, I believe. So that was a cool book. Right there. Creatures on the Loose, the 1st appearance of King Kull. That's a Silver Age book. And then Kull the Conqueror #1. It's in pretty good shape too, so that's a decent book as well. X-Men 134, I think this is the first Dark Phoenix. In decent shape, not bad, decent shape. Newsstand. 137, I forget why, but it's definitely a decent key. 135, this would be a bigger key, but it's got drawing. I'll show you. 135, great cover, awesome book. It's got some pink like writing there, and there's like a crease right there as well. So if it were mint, besides that, it looks pretty good, but you know, still. And then 2 copies of X-Men 131. So there's that right there. Good books. And then these next 11, one's a magazine, the rest are comic books, are definitely the cream of the crop, I think, of the collection. So we got, this is a magazine. So we got Savage Sword of Conan #1. This was super cool. This is mid-grade. I mean, it's mint, but still a very cool book. I mean, it might be worth 80 to 100 bucks. So very nice. I mean, it looks great. It's just that, you know, you can tell it's been a little bit of wear. It's old, you know. So there's that. And then these are the comic books. I got X-Men 103. The first time I think Logan is used, like his name, Logan is used. Newsstand. There might be another reason why this is a key, but there's that. 2 copies of this, Marvel Team Up 141. Really beautiful copy, newsstand edition. I think this is the second black suit, maybe. Another one of these, obviously Spider-Man and Daredevil, Marvel Team Up 141. Again, both are great, in great shape. X-Men 130, the first appearance of Dazzler. Pretty good shape. I wouldn't say it's a near mid copy, but it's, you know, higher mid-grade, definitely. So newsstand, cool one there. Another one of these, Wolverine #1, right there. He said he was also going to be checking the he's going back to his mom's house and going to be checking to see what else he has. So hopefully he's got some more stuff. I'm going to pay him as long as it's quality, you know, and it's not in terrible shape. X-Men 133. This is in a pretty solid shape, like high grade copy. I wouldn't say, again, it's not mint, but it's a good, very good copy. This is the first time that I think Wolverine goes berserk and whatnot. Key Collector says it's a $150 book. I think it's over $100 book. Newsstand, pretty good, really good grade. But yeah, so there's that. Really hot book. Excited. I was very excited about this one. This is Spider-Man 210. First Madam Web, newsstand. The biggest issue with this book, I'll show you, it's got some staining. I can tell down here and up top, but it's not bad. It's not torn up at all, but it's got a small stain right there and then a little bit of something right here, but it's in good shape, you know? So not disappointed with that. Then these are the top 3, I think. This is ASM 252, newsstand. This is a gorgeous copy. I thought when I first went through the comic books, I saw 2 of these, but he pulled one of them out, and I asked him, I was like, did you pull one of them out? And he said, yeah, I want to keep it, you know, because he collected them when he was little, and he said it's for sentimental value. So I believe him. I don't think he just pulled stuff out because he thought it was, I mean, he could have put out a lot of these books. These are valuable books, you know, but this is a beautiful copy, newsstand edition. Like there's like one tiny spine tick, and then that's about it. Like this bottom left corner's got a small blunt, but that looks like it's it, honestly. Maybe something right here, but the book is really good, really nice book. So yeah, he could have pulled out more if he was really looking to like take books to sell himself. I think the only thing I don't like this, like he could have taken this out. This is Spider-Man 122, mid-grade copy, but this is the Death of Green Goblin, and this is a pretty expensive book, especially if it's high grade. It's a very expensive book, but that is a very nice book. And then again, this is a gorgeous copy of Thor 337 newsstand, the first beta rate bill. So I don't want to say he took books out. I was skeptical because it seems like there should have been a first Black Cat and a first Origin of the Black Suit in there, but at the same time, it's like he could have taken these out. So I don't know. Maybe not. Obviously, and also the reason why it kind of bugs me a little bit, or I'm thinking about it, is because I was maybe because I was so close to the X-Men, Giant Size X-Men #1, and also the he took out the 252, which I knew he did, and I saw it, but so I asked him, and I was fine with that. Like it's his books, and he wants to keep one, which is always cool. I want other people to collect, but still, it was just in the back of my head, like, what if he did hold the Giant Size of X-Men #1? But yeah, still, besides that, I'm not worried about it because I basically am $100 deep into all these books, so I would call it a huge success. I think there's over $1,000 worth of comics here. Easily, I got 200 comic books. Between these 10, they're on average probably worth at least 80 a piece. You know, maybe close to $100 a piece. Or between those 11, they're probably worth probably got $1,000 worth of books right there. So maybe not, close to it at least, because you know they're all keys. So I would say it's a major success. So the experiment with the buying, like the first time I just tried it, I had Pokemon cards that I was gonna resell. I didn't want them anymore. I like the comic books, so I just put them up for trade. Got a really good books. So this time I actually bought the Nintendo stuff in order to get comic books, and it panned out amazing. I don't think I could have gotten much better than this. So I think I'm gonna try it again in the future. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.